Joining me this afternoon is Adam Warner. Now, Adam will be performing. He's one of the performers this Saturday night with our friends at the Breakers over at Henry County. And Adam, I tell you what, it sounds like you're a busy man. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on.
We're looking forward to seeing you and your entourage coming over to the Breakers on Kentucky Lake in Henry County this Saturday night. And reading some of your background, I can tell you are a great fan of the water and the great outdoors. I can see that already. Man, how'd you get involved with being a part of a pro fishing team as well as being a country singer?
That's a great question. I've always enjoyed, like you were saying, just I love being on the water, and fishing is just, other than music, it's probably my number two most favorite thing to do. And getting on pro staff team really just come down to I've been fishing tournaments for like 6-7 years. I started out in kayak tournaments, and then finally moved up to the boat side. And I was just fishing with a real good group of guys, and Craig Odom over at CNO Marine in White Bluff, Tennessee. He had seen me fish a few times, and we got to know each other really well. And he offered me asked me if I wanted to be a part of the pro staff team, and I was really excited about the offer, and was proud to be a part of it. So yeah, I've been fishing with them for 2 years now.
Well, tell me about your background. I think up around Southern Illinois, grew up on a farm, and now outside of Nashville, of course. And you combine what the good old country boys are all about, farming, fishing, country music. Man, that says it all about the industry.
Absolutely, man. I try to tell people I don't just sing about it. I lived it. So, like you said, grew up southeastern Illinois. Both sides of my family are farmers, and I worked the farm from till I was about 12 to 18 or 19 years old. And then about 19, 20, I decided I was going to join the Marine Corps. So I left the farm and went out to San Diego, California, got yelled at for a few weeks, and then got to be a Marine for 4 years. It was a great experience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much to you and all your fellow Marines and all branches of our military. Thank you so much for your service. We certainly are indebted to you and your colleagues.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Well, has music, with all these things, all your interests that we're talking about, Adam, has music always been a great part of your life?
It really has. I mean, I'll be honest. I started my first band like right around the 8th grade. There's like just me and two neighbor kids. I had a guitar, and my neighbor decided he was going to be a bass player, and then there was only one position left, so the other boy had to get drums. Then we played together all the way from junior high school through high school, and it's just always been a part of something I've loved doing, man. I love making music. I love writing music. And, even when I was in the Marine Corps, I continued to write. I continued to play. And I just always knew it was something I wanted to at least, give my best shot at, is to make it a career. And, the good Lord's blessed me enough to let me get this far. And I just keep taking it a day at a time and doing the best I can, and just very thankful for all the blessings that have been put in my life up to this point.
As you were coming up through the ranks and developing your musical talents, of course, were there influences, mentors in your life that got you where you are today?
Oh, absolutely. I still think to this day, like a lot of my, music is still influenced by those people. I grew up, I love Brooks and Dunn, Joe Diffie, Trace Adkins, and Garth, and of course, I love the old country too. George Jones, I think it don't really get any better than his voice. And, but as far as just mentors and stuff, again, like I've just been so blessed and fortunate. Trace Adkins took me under his wing very, very early on in my career, and I got to tour with him back in 18 and 19, and just you want to talk about just learning from one of the best to ever do it. I still think, Trace is one of the best there is out there, and he's just such a great guy. And just the amount of knowledge that came with being on the road with him was, just invaluable. So, again, I just feel very blessed to be been a part of that. And, of course, him and I we also recorded a song together, which, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, you always move to this town to write and playing music, and, you know, one of your dreams is always to do a song with one of your heroes, and I was just blessed enough that actually happened for me. So that was an experience I'll never forget, for sure.
Yeah, I was watching up on YouTube last night, Semper Fi, featuring Trace Atkins, of course, about the United States Marines, and the theme, of course, and that just gave me chills. That was a well-produced video, let alone the music, the song portion, but the way the video was put together, it just gave me chill bumps, knowing what those men stand for.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. You know, the craziest thing, you know, it's such a small Marine Corps. You know, we get there and we're getting shown around, and because, you know, I was a West Coast Marine, so I didn't go to Parris Island. And the funniest thing, I started hearing a voice, and I was looking over, and I was like, man, I feel like that's one of my buddies over there. And sure enough, I get over there, and it was one of my friends that we were at our very first duty station together. And he was the series chief drill instructor at the time for Mike Company. And so we got to catch up. We hadn't seen each other in probably almost 10 years at that point.
And as we go along, let me ask you this, and I mean this in the most respectful way. How does a man with your talents for a great song you put out, The People, how does a song like that get banned from the social media platform TikTok? I don't understand that at all.
Man, you know, that's a head scratcher. Yeah, if you figure that one out, make sure to call me back. But, you know, I try to stay out of the weeds and all this and everything that's going on. But it just makes you hard not to feel a certain way, especially when you put out a song that's, you know, I'm not drawing a line in the sand by any means. You know, it's not about left, it's not about right. Again, it's just what the title says. It's about us. It's about the people. And I feel like that's one of those things that the quicker we can realize that, you know, we don't work for the government. Government works for us. And, you know, we're the ones in this together. You know, I really feel like the mainstream media has a lot to do with that and the narrative that they push. But, you know, I've always felt personally, regardless of, you know, where you stand politically, that we're a lot more similar than we are different. And, you know, that's really what that song's about, is just trying to remind people, like, you know, hey, you know, we're in this together. So the quicker we can remember that and start, you know, loving each other and remember to love your neighbor like yourself type of deal, I feel like, you know, we'd be a lot better off and not so at each other's throat in today's environment.
I agree with that 100%, but it's a great song. It's still out on the other platforms, and I encourage everybody to go and take a listen to that song, The People. Now, tell me what a show is like when you take the stage over on Kentucky Lake, over at the Breakers Saturday night. What are the fans, the people that come to your show, what are they in store for, Adam?
You know, typically, my show is very high energy. It's more of a rock show than a country show, I would say. But I've been doing this a while now, too. Like, I'm also pretty good at reading my crowd. So, you know, I'm always full of energy, and I'm ready to give out as much energy as they're ready to take. I'll put it that way. So, but I also understand, too, if people have been out in the sun on the lake drinking all day and it's 90 degrees outside and they just kind of want to relax a little bit and listen to music, I can pick up on that pretty quick, too, so I can always adjust. But normally speaking, I would say, you know, pretty high energy show. It feels more like a rock show than a country show.
And I know you've played in bigger venues than the Breakers, both amphitheaters and indoor arenas like Bridgestone, of course. But do you like these smaller type outdoor venues that you're going to be playing at? Do you like those type of settings come Saturday night?
You know, I do. And I'll tell you why is because, you know, it's like you said, it's really hard to match the energy of, you know, you walk out on stage and there's, you know, anywhere from 7,000 to 12 to 17,000 people screaming at you. That's not near as nerve-wracking. And I like these smaller venues because, to be honest, it's more personable. You know, like when you're on a big stage, like we were just up in Wisconsin recently for Country Thunder, and you know, that was a great turnout there. But everything kind of gets blended in together, if that makes any sense. It's just like it all becomes one. But I like playing these types of venues a lot too, because it's just, you can really connect with people, you know, and I feel like that's where you get the best feedback for your music a lot of times is when you're playing a venue like this where it's more intimate and, you know, you're not you're able to look at people out in the crowd and talk to each other and communicate. And I think that's what really music is all about, is just really getting together and coming together and being able to enjoy everything together. It's just, it's a cool feeling. I'll put it that way. I do love playing the smaller venues as well, because, like I said, it's just, it's more one-on-one sometimes, it feels like.
Well, it's hard to believe we're in the 8th month of the year. Here we are at the first part of August. You're over at the Breakers Saturday night, August the 3rd. So as we look ahead into the latter parts of summer, into the fall, and gearing up for the holidays, of course, down the road 3 or 4 months, is it going to be a busy time between now and the end of the year for you and your folks?
It is. I mean, this year, I took a lot more time off just because of the baby. That was my wife and I's first child. And I'm going to make sure that I was around, and I didn't want to miss anything with the little one growing up, because they grow so fast. It's crazy. But, yeah, we do definitely have a busy rest of the year. I mean, I think I got about a week or 2 off after Breakers, and then we're heading out to Kansas City, Missouri, and we'll be out there. I believe we're playing a club called Guitars and Cadillacs, I think is the name of it, if I remember right. Little Dwight Yoakam type.
I was about to say that'd be a good title for a country song.
yeah. Someone should write that.
Yeah.
Someone should write that song. But yeah, and then I think we have a couple more dates in October as well. Might be heading out to Las Vegas. I think we're still working on that. And then already trying to get things squared away and up and running for next year. So. It's nonstop.
Now, where can people find out more between now and Saturday night? Where can they find out more about Adam Warner, his music, and what we might be in store for this weekend?
Yeah, so all my music is, any streaming service that y'all listen to, I'm on there. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, anywhere people can stream, they can find me. Social media-wise, it's the same across the board, just Adam Warner Music. I always say look for the blue check mark, because there are weird imposter accounts out there. I'll never ask you for bus money, but I'll ask you to come to the show.
Well, thank you again for taking time from your busy schedule. I appreciate it so very, very much, and I know there's going to be a good, receptive audience to you Saturday night over in our neck of the woods, and we'll talk to you down the road sometime. Tell all the family hello and all your people that work with you in the music industry and out on the fishing tour as well. We appreciate you, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for making time for me, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to Saturday and playing some songs for everybody. It's going to be a good time. Looking forward to seeing everyone.